Blog Talk Radio.
ሰለሞን ማለ እርሱ በፊት በእውነትና
These are also the proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Shower me with blessing, yeah, just breathe forth, honey, don't stop. Milk and honey, don't stop. Let the newsmen write what they wanna write. Let the wicked believe what they wanna believe. Jaja, bring forth honey, don't stop. No, Jaja, bring forth milk and honey, don't stop. Let the sufferers be always strong, and give dreadnoughty the power to be true and strong. Jaja, bring forth honey, don't stop. No, Jaja, bring forth milk and honey, don't stop. No, no, no. Shower me with love. Ooh, yeah, yeah. We don't care for Johnny, no job. We don't care for Johnny, no job. No, Jaja, bring forth honey, don't stop. Jaja, bring milk and honey, don't stop. Let the wicked believe what they wanna believe, and give dreadnoughty the power to be true and strong. Jaja, bring forth honey, don't stop. No, Jaja, bring forth milk and honey, don't stop.
If the Yahweh, he who be, delight in us, then he will bring us I into this land, and give it us, and give it to I, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye, y'all, against the Yahweh, he who be, neither fear y'all the people of the land.
Rent their clothes. And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord. Thus, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Thus, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Thus, a land which floweth with milk and honey. A land which floweth with milk and honey. In us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. through to search it is an exceeding good land. Through to search it is an exceeding good land. Through to search it is an exceeding good land.
If the Yahweh, he who be, delight in us, then he will bring us, I and I, into this land, and give it us, and give it to I and I, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye, y'all, against the Yahweh, he who be, neither fear y'all the people of the land. For
if the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, but a land which floweth with milk and honey, a land which floweth with milk and honey. He will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. He will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Is an exceeding good land. Is an exceeding good land. Is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones. The glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me, for all the signs which I have showed among them? To Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me, for all the signs which I have showed among them? And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me, for all the signs which I have showed among them? I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation, and mightier than they. And Moses said unto the Lord, Then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest up this people in thy mouth. How long will this people provoke me? And how...
Scatter thou the people that delight in war. Princes shall come out of Egypt. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. Sing unto God, ye kingdoms of the earth. O sing praises unto the Lord. Selah. Ethiopia, 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 Ethiopia. Let God arise, let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melteth before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of God. But let the righteous be glad, let them rejoice before God. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto God, sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, 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 and rejoice before him. A father of the fatherless, and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. God setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains. But the rebellious dwell in a dry land. Ethiopia, 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 Ethiopia.
Because they're really down. kedase sigabu. Kainatuna hizvu bechibret yemiyazemutno. All shall sing as they begin the service. Kedase sigabu. As they enter the kedase. Kainatuna hizvu. The priest and the people. Bechibret in einity. Yemiyazemutno. Shall sing, shall chant. Isis.
Psalm 94. O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth, O God, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. Lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud. Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? They break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thine heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger, and murder the fatherless. Yet they say, the Lord shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that chastiseth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth man knowledge, shall not he know? The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Lord, and teachest him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit be digged for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. When I said, my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Lord, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off.
מזמור צד ד'. אל נקמות אדוני, אל נקמות הופיע, הנשא שופט הארץ, השב גמול על גאים. עד מתי רשעים אדוני, עד מתי רשעים יעלוזו, יביעו ידברו עתק, יתאמרו כל פועלי הבל. עמך אדוני ידכאו, ונחלתך יענו. אלמנה וגר יהרוגו, ויתומים ירצחו. ויאמרו לא יראה יה, ולא יבין אלוהי יעקב. בינו בוערים בעם, וכסילים מתי תשכילו. הנוטע אוזן הלא ישמע, אם יוצר עין הלא יביט. היוסר גויים הלא יוכיח, המלמד אדם דעת. אדוני יודע מחשבות אדם, כי המה הבל. אשרי הגבר אשר תייסרנו יה, ומתורתך תלמדנו. להשקיט לו מימי רע, עד יקרא לרשע שחת. כי לא יתוש אדוני עמו, ונחלתו לא יעזוב. כי עד צדק ישוב משפט, ואחריו כל ישרי לב. מי יקום לי עם מרעים? מי יתייצב לי עם פועלי אבן? לולא אדוני עזרת לי, כמעט שכנה דומה נפשי. אם אמרתי מה תרגלי, חסדך אדוני יסעדני. ברוב שר אפי בקרבי, תנחומך ישעשעו נפשי. היי חברך כיסא אבות, יוצר עמל עלי חוק, יגודו על נפש צדיק ודם נקי ירשיעו. ויהי אדוני לי למשגב, ואלוהי לצור מחסי. וישב עליהם את אונם, וברעתם יצמיתם אדוני אלוהינו, 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 אלוהינו.
Salamta Beteseb. Greetings and welcome, family, to this special episode of Wisdom Wednesday with the Rastamandem here on Discipleship Radio.
These are also the proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out.
Yeah, man, I'm a sound nitrogen, you know. Yeah, you mix the nitrogen sound, you know. But let it through, a nitrogen. Not more to be said.
Old pirates, just a rabbi, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs.
Now I'm at the ball crow. This song called Massive Rastafari.
I speak to all the children. I speak to everything that move it and live it on the earth. All of my family and music. I'm see what I see in them high. I see the type of intention in them high. How music is. We don't know if they have them look there, but when you know which musician you can look on and know if he's a real musician. More than guy will just come in night and hustle it. Yeah, I know a musician.
Y'all really can't stand it whenever I make a post defending black men. There's always a barrage of comments like, we gotta hold them accountable. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for accountability, but when do we not hold black men accountable? It's like every day, every time I get on the internet, someone is always talking about what black men not doing right. As a matter of fact, the only time we do bring up black men is to hold them accountable for the stuff that they not doing. I mean, it's almost like we're letting our personal experiences and the media, first and foremost, dictate how we feel about our own men. Never mind the several instances of black men who were protecting black women. Never mind the black man who pulled a black woman out of a burning building. Never mind the black man who jumped in front of a group of girls and lost his life defending them. Never mind the black men who were taking 12-hour shifts to defend a black woman in their neighborhood. Never mind that the majority, the vast majority, over 80% of black men are married to black women. We gotta stop letting the media tell us that our men don't love us and protect us. That's a lie. This country is hell-bent on destroying our men. Let's not help them.
Black man redemption. Whoa, yo, whoa, whoa. No need to get jumpy. No need, and no need to get bumpy. And no need to get bumpy. Cool running, can you take it? Cool running, one more time I take it. Cool running, can you stop it? Cool running, red eye.
Yes. Shalom, Chaverim. Shalom. Here. Today, we have the daily psalm according to the royal order, the longest psalm, 170, 76 verses. At least we're going to try to get into the first three of the Hebrew alphabeticals, the Aleph, Beit, and the Gimel, the Abu Gi and the Abu Gida, the first three Hebrew letters. Psalm 119, the Torah, the way of life. Here, this Torah reading and feeding, we have Korah, the crazy, arithmetically speaking, bald head, the crazy bald head, the madman. What's up with Korah? What's up with these rebellions here in this fourth book of Moshe? We have 4 rebellions here in this Torah reading and feeding right here. This here, for this Torah reading and feeding. Yes. Here's the classic right here for this Serema tune, right now tune for this 38th sabbatical study. For this Shabbat strong, Korah. Yes.
Them crazy. We gonna chase those crazy ballers out of town. Chase those crazy ballers out of town. I and I build the cabbage. I and I plant the corn. Didn't my people before me slave for this country? Now you look me with that scorn. Then you heat up all my corn. We gonna chase those crazy. Chase them crazy. Chase those crazy ballers out of town. Did a little bit, did stop, did till you don't stop, to let up and let it. That little bit, that let up, stop, till it. Build your penitentiary. We build your schools. Brainwash education to make us the fools. It is your reward for our love, telling us of your God above. We gonna chase those crazy, chase those crazy bumpers, chase those crazy ballers out of the yard. We gonna chase those crazy, chase those crazy bumpers, chase those crazy ballers out of the yard. Here comes the con man, coming with his con plan. We won't take no pride. We've got to stay alive. We gonna chase those crazy, chase those crazy ballers, chase those crazy ballers.
Yes. Crazy bald head here in this Torah reading and feeding here for Shabbat Korah, Parsha Korah. Torah portion reading and feeding right here. Our Torah reading and feeding here, the sabbatical manna, the manna, angel's bread right here. The message here for this Shavua, Parshat Korah, or Korah. in the English. It begins with the words Wayikah Korah. Hebraically begins with the words, and Korah took. Wayikah. Wa and Yikah. And taking, he taking Korah. And Korah took, here picking up Numbers chapter 16, the Aleph verse, the first verse. Now the sages, many of them noted that this verse does not say exactly what it was that Korah took. When we look at it in the Hebrew, Wayikah Korah, Ben Yitzhar, Ben Kahat, Ben Lewi, Datan wa Aviram, Bnei Eliav, Ve'on, Ben Pelet, Ben Reuven. Here the English brings it out as KJV. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Datan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Pelet, sons of Reuben took. Now, if you look at it in the English, the KJV, you'll see men. In the better printings of the KJV Bibles, the men there will be italicized. That means it was added by the translators to give some sense of context or what have you. But basically, that word is not there. So basically, Korah took. But even the order of the Hebrew compared to the translation is interesting because it says now. The word now is not really there, but it says now Korah. Hebraically, it says Wayikah, and he took Korah. In the ancient biblical Hebrew, the order is usually verb, subject, object. You know, like in English, we would have like, you know, the subject, verb, object, you know, like Korah, subject, verb, took, object, what he took. But here in the Hebrew, Wayikah, Korah, is actually Hebraically the verb, Wayikah, and he taking Korah. There we have the subject. But in this particular verse, there's not an object, Hebraically speaking. KJV, they add men in italicizations, men at the end to give a sense, and they put the verb all the way at the end. But from the Hebrew, it's Wayikah, Korah. And Korah took Ben. Listen to here is explaining who Korah is. And he taking literally, and he took Korah ben Yitzhar, son of Yitzhar, ben Kahat, son of Kahat, ben Lewi, son of Levi, with Datan, and Datan wa Abiram, and Abiram, Bnei Eliab, sons of Eliab, were On, and On, ben Pelet, son of Pelet, ben Reuben, son of Reuben. Now, when we go to the second verse right here, the second verse says, Wayakumu, and they rose up. So the men was put there in the KJV to give a sense, but then when we look at it Hebraically, there's a little deeper, you know, contextualization of this right here. Because in the second verse, Wayakumu, and they rising up, Wayakumu lifnei Moshe, in the face or to the face of Moses, in the presence of Moses. Wayakumu lifnei Moshe, wa anashim, and men, mi b'nei Yisrael, and men of Israel, and men, sons of Israel, and men from the sons of Israel. Wa anashim, and anashim, mi b'nei, from the sons of Yisrael. Chamashim, 50, u matayim. It's interesting right here because the yod mean the yim right there. So for 200, me'ah and ma'at, right? Me'ah is 100. So here in the Hebrew sense, it says Chemashim 50 u matayim, and like to say 100 double, to say 200, 100 double. U matayim, Nisiye, princes of Edut, princes of the congregation, the Edut, the witness testimony. Kyrie Moed. Kyrie Moed. Here, right? The Kari in the Hebrew means like to be called or to be summoned, like one who's called. Kyrie from Kari, one who's called, that is selected. You know, from the Hebrew kara, to call out, to recite, to read, kara, to cry out, to proclaim. Right? Very interesting Hebrew word, the kara. Kara, properly like to call out, that is to address by name. Hebraically, this can be used and is used in the biblical Hebrew in a wide variety of applications. But the kara, the root verb idea, has a sense of the idea of accosting a person, met, calling out, right, addressing them by name. So these ones are the Kyrie, they are the called out ones. You know, their names are called, the called out ones, right here. Or in the KJV where it says famous in the congregation. Now here's what's interesting right here. It says princes of the assembly, the Edut, the gathering, the witness, the testimony, famous, Kyrie, right? Kyrie, Moed. Moed is in the meeting, in the appointment, the meeting, the Moed. The tent of meeting called the tabernacle of the congregation is the Ohel Moed. The Ohel, the tent Moed of meeting, of appointment, like the appointed place, the appointed spot for the appointments, the Kyrie Moed. KJV brings it out as famous in the congregation, the called out ones in the Moed, in the assembly, in the appointment. Anshe, Shem. Anshe, men of Shem, right? Men of renown. The Shem is name, Shem in the Hebrew. The Shem is name, reputation, fame. We say Hashem is a designation of Yahweh Eloheinu, the Hashem, the name, right? Also in name, the Shem is like a memorial, a monument, right? Like through the idea of one having a definite or a conspicuous position, an appellation as a mark of individuality, the name and the name. So these ones and ones had names, they were princes, and first we get the ones and ones that Korah took, right? So the sages, when reasoning on this right here, looking at Numbers chapter 16, verse 1, two key words, Wayikah, and he took Korah, and Korah took. But the verse does not say exactly what it was, what or who it was he took, right? Doesn't really link up right there, but in the Hebrew sense, right? Vayikah Korah, and Korah, the son of Yitzhar. Now explain who Korah was. Very interesting the way it's constructed here, explaining who he was. He was son of Izhar or Yitzhar. He was the son of Kahat. He was the son of Lewi. He took. Different commentators, they offer various, different explanations, regarding the Hebrew, the grammar, the dikduk of this pasuk, of this verse. For instance, one famous commentator on Torah, Rashi, states that Korah took himself to a different side. Interesting idea. He took himself to a different side, right? Like an opposition side. The Rambam, right, says that he took an evil Eitzah. But his Eitzah is like a counsel. He took evil counsel into his heart, into his mind. Ibn Ezra states that he took, quote, other people. What he took was other people, according to Ibn Ezra, into his discontent, his embitterment, bitterness. Saforno states that he took the 250 princes, right, the princes of Yisrael. As the scripture mentions right here from the Hebrew perspective, it says right here, the Nisiye, right, in the second verse, speaking about the Nisiye, the princes of, right, Nisiye Edah, the princes of the assembly, Nisiye Edah. He took 250, right? Those are the other people, right? Sephorno states that right there in order to confront Moses. Now, the Targum Yerushalayim, the Jerusalem Targum interpretation on Kelos, one of the early commentators on Torah, they both read that, and Korah took counsel and made division. What's being brought out right here in the first verse is that, first and second verses, is that he took counsel, right? He took counsel and he made division. He was divisive. So we get factions and fractions and sets and sects and denominations, right? As the story of Korah, as this rebellion, this embitterment that leads to open rebellion unfolds, however, it becomes clear that Korah, primarily what he took to himself. He took to himself a sense of entitlement. He's a wealthy man of influence. He was an influencer, and therefore he thought to himself, notice how it lists his pedigree, right? He had a sense of entitlement, as well as a strong desire, a lust, if you will, for power, that ultimately led to disaster. So here, as you pick up this Torah reading and feeding, this is the first of the 4 rebellions, right? Wayikah Korah ben Yitzhar ben Kahat ben Lewi. Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, he took. Now, as we explained already, that Korah, he was the cousin of Moshe, well-respected Kohathite, who was honored. Remember, he was honored to be one of the carriers of the Holy Ark. He was renowned as a wealthy man of influence and influencer. He was a Nasi, Hebraically a prince. In later Hebrew, this also is titled the president of the Sanhedrin, of the assembly, a prince of the people. Despite all of that privilege, Korah and so many Korah-like ones, he wanted more and more and more. He rationalized that he should be the Rosh, the head of the Kohathite clan, instead of his cousin, El-Safan, since he was the firstborn. Here we have a point about the ancient primogenitor. Who is primo? Firstborn, usually we go to the firstborn. But note even in the unfolding of HaTorah, how Yahweh Eloheinu flips that on the head. We have the Cain and Abel. Cain was the firstborn, but what? It was to go to Abel, but eventually went to Seth. We have this in the Jacob and Esau, right? Concerning Jacob and Esau, and also elsewhere as well. Even with the 12 tribes. Notice that Reuben, right? Remember when it says that descendant of Reuben, right? Ben Reuben, like On, the last one in this conspiracy right here. We have Datan and Abiram joining up with Korah and also On, right? So these 4 right here, right, taking with themselves 250 men, right, from the Bnei Yisrael, from the rank and file Israelites. Because one might say, well, how come the judgments on these were different? There's one particular interest point, because it doesn't overtly say that On, son of Pelet, this Reubenite, but obviously he was a part of the mix right there. But why was the judgment different? And then what Yahweh said, that no one who is not of, right, Aharon, right? So we had Korah, he's a Levite, right? He's clearly a Levite, a respected Levite, right? Why does it list his pedigree? Because he was the firstborn of Kohath's second son, whereas El-Zafan was not even a firstborn son. So therefore, feeling this slight, being slighted by Moshe's choice of El-Zafan, Korah, he went further and brazenly questioned whether the office, though going beyond that, that's bad enough, but beyond that, he questioned whether the office of the Kohen Gadol, the anointed high priest, should not have been given to him rather than to Aharon. How do we know this? Well, we know this as we get to let's just scroll ahead right here, and we get to the 10th verse. What is 10th verse? Numbers chapter 16, verse 10. And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. And seek y'all, the priesthood also. See the question I was asked? Right, that Yahweh Eloheinu hath brought thee, speaking to Korah, right, near to him. And all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, is also near to him, maintaining the Levites, maintaining the sanctuary, right? And in particular, the sons of Aharon being the priests. All of the priests were Levites, but not all of the Levites were priests. But both the Levites and the priests were brought near to Yahweh Eloheinu. But the question is, and seek y'all. So speaking to Korah individually and those with him, seek y'all the priesthood also. So to better understand and understand and overstand the tensions running within this most influential family, Mishpacha, of ancient Yisrael, we have to consider the genealogy of Lewi, right, especially of Levi from Exodus chapter 6. That shows the relationship. You got to see the relationship between Moshe, Aharon, Aaron, and Korah. So hopefully one can see a good genealogical chart. You know, the Hebrew for Christians has a very good chart of presentation there. You know, on Moses, Aaron, and Korah, what was the relationship between them? How did they relate in the family tree? Because Korah believed that as a Bechor, right, Hebraically the firstborn son of Kohath, that he had as much, quote, right, end quote, as Moshe to obtain honor and therefore power in the newly formed nation of Yisrael. So here we also get the birth, right, from the Exodus narrative, we get the birth of a nation, birth of the nation of Yisrael. Korah then questioned Moshe's appointment of Aharon as the anointed, the Moshiach, Kohen Gadol, the anointed high priest of Yisrael, and thought that this office should be given to him instead. This is what makes brings Numbers chapter 16, verse 10. You know, Wayakreb Otika, and he has brought you near, right? Brought you near. Wayakreb Otika We'etakola Acheka, and all of your brothers, B'nai Lewi, the sons of Levi, Itak, with the eye. U bikashtem gam kahuna, also the priesthood. You seek, right? Bakash, bikashtem, and y'all are seeking, desiring, requesting, striving, right? Striving after the kahuna, striving after the priesthood. Very interesting rebellion that's going on right here. So Korah, firstborn. El-Safan, not the firstborn. Then he turns his attention to Aharon. Right? After all, Korah had offered sacrifice for the tribe of Levi before the sin, the chatat of the Egel Maseka, of the molten calf that's falsely called the golden calf. It's popularized as a golden calf, but the Torah doesn't speak that way. It calls it the molten calf, right? So before the molten calf incident, Korah had offered sacrifice to the tribe of Lewi because of his position in the birth order. Check. And in relation to the family tree, the choice of the firstborn of Levi, ultimately came down to a decision between Aharon, between Korah, and between Mishael. When we study the family tree, we'll see that the decision, right, ultimately would come down to one of those three, Aaron, Korah, or Mishael. When Moshe appointed Aaron, Aharon, as the anointed, the Moshiach, Kohen Gadol, high priest, and El Safan, not Mishael, but El Safan as the Mishpacha leader, the clan leader of the Kohathites, Korah, no doubt felt slighted. This slight, this bitterness, and in bitterness, his resentment caused him to seek counsel. This is why the narrative here in Numbers chapter 16 mentions Datan and Abiram. Now for the Chaverim, let's check out the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary on these three names: Korah, Korach, Datan, and Abiram. Right? Datan and Abiram, two agitators from the tribe of Reuben. Reuben, and remember, Reuben is also Yisrael's Bechor, right? His firstborn son. That had a long history. There's a long history here of hostility towards Moshe. So what most don't peep at first glance is that what we have here is like the tip of the iceberg. But even if you see the tip of the iceberg, you know, above the water is so much deeper below the water. The Midrash Rabbah states that Korah, he argued. He argued something like this: Abi, my father, Abi was one of four brothers. As it says, even in Exodus 6 and 18, and the sons of Kahat, Amram, Yitzhar, Hebron, and Uziel. As for Amram, the firstborn, his son Aharon attained to greatness and Moshe to royalty. Who then should rightly take the next office? Is it not the next in line? Now I, Korah speaking, being the son of Yitzhar, should by right be the leader of the Kohathites. Yet Moshe appointed the son of Uziel. Shall the son of the youngest of my father's brothers be superior to me? Behold, I shall dispute his decision and put to naught, put to nothingness all that has been arranged by him. So you see, according to the Yehudi tradition, and studying this deeply, Datan and Abiram were a constant source of trouble for Moshe, right from the beginning. You see, Datan was said to be the man whom Moshe saved from the brutality of the Mitzri, of the Egyptian, the Tawi taskmaster. Do you recall in Shemot, in Exodus chapter 2, verses 11 to 14? What does it read, Chaverim? Moshe, this is a section where Moshe flees to Midian. Verse 11, it says, one day, when Moshe had grown up, he went out to Amo, his people, and looked on their burdens, and he saw a Mitzri, an Egyptian, beating a Ibri, one of his people. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he struck down the Mitzri and hid him in the sand. When he went out the next day, behold, two Hebrews were struggling together. And he said to the man in the wrong, I always think that is kind of interesting how that is brought out in translation. And he said to the man in the wrong, why do you strike your companion? Verse 14, he answered, who made you a prince, a Nasi, and a judge, a Shofet, among us or over us? Who made you a Nasi and a Shofet, a prince and a judge over us, over I and I? Do you mean to kill me, to dead on me as you dead on the Mitzri, on the Tawi, the Egyptian? Then Moshe, it says, then Moshe was afraid, and he thought, surely this thing is known, right? Not just known, but it's being talked about, right? As you say today, snitch. Was he a snitch? Well, we'll pick up on that right there. But according to the Yehudi tribe tradition, Datan and Abiram, they were a constant source of trouble to Moses right from the beginning. Datan being linked to the man whom Moses saved from the brutality of the Egyptian taskmaster. Instead of expressing gratitude to Moshe, however, it is said, Datan reported him to Paro, to Pharaoh, to the great house, and further disclosed that Moshe was, like how John J. Parsons said it, a closet Hebrew. He's a closet Ivri, right? There's a crypto Yehudi, right? Not a Mitzri, right? A Tawi at all, not an Egyptian at all, according to Yalkut to Shimoni. This is, of course, it caused Moshe to flee from Mitzrayim, the Tawi, the two lands, and postpone, it is said to have postponed the great Yetziat mi Mitzrayim, the great exodus from the two lands of Tawi for nearly 50 years, for nearly 50 years. So Chavarim, was there a postponement, right, because of that, right? Some in studying the Torah do see that, and we bring that out here to share that. Now, when the chariots of Paro, remember in the Exodus narrative, when the chariots, the Merkabot, the chariots of Pharaoh were closing in on the Bnei Yisrael, the Beta Israel, at the Yam Suf, at the Sea of Reeds, the Etera Bahir, the Eritrean Sea. What do we read in Exodus chapter 14, verse 11? What we read in Exodus chapter 14, verse 11, it says, and they said to Moshe, they said to Moses, are there not enough graves in Mitzrayim, in the Tawi, that you brought us into the Midbar, the wilderness, to die? Why did you bring us Mitzrayim, out of the Tawi, out of the two lands? The Midrash, the study from the Beit Midrash, the house of study, says that the unnamed, quote, they, the Hema, the they, right, in this verse were none other than Datan and Abiram. Later when Yahuwah gave manna, remember the manna, right, the manna to feed the people, Moshe, he instructed not to leave any left over for the following day. And then in Exodus chapter 16, verse 20, it says, but they did not listen to Moshe. And it goes on to say, and the men left over some of it for the next morning, and it became infested with worms. Now, one commentator on Torah, Rashi, he identifies these men as Datan and Abiram. Likewise, when the spies, you remember the spies? When the spies returned with their Deba is the evil report about the promised land, the land of promise, what do we read? In Numbers, right? In Numbers chapter 14, verse 4, it says, and a man said to his fellow, and who? And a man said to Re'ehu, to his fellow, let us make I appoint a leader, and we will return to Mitzrayim. We return to the Tawi, the two lands called ancient Egypt. Numbers chapter 14, verse 4. This man and Re'ehu and his fellow were also said to be Datan and Abiram. Find that in the Shemot Rabbah. So indeed, Datan and Abiram's firm and strong opposition. They had strong opposition, staunch opposition to Moshe was long lasting. And Korah, he plied, implied, replied to their sentiments. Now we note in the Torah, it speaks of the great humility. Notice how it speaks of the great what? Humility of Moshe. Then when he reached out to these men, after they joined forces with the rebellious, embittered Korah, first he, quote, sent for them. Moshe first did what? According to the Torah, he sent, shalach, right? He sent for them, though he was rebuffed. In Numbers chapter 16, verse 12. Let's go to verse 12 for a moment. How does KJV brings it out? And Moses sent to call Datan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, who said, we will not come up. They said, we will not come up. Vayishlach Moshe. And Moses sent, right, likro, to call Datan for Datan, with Abiram, and for Abiram, Bnei Eliab, the sons of Eliab, Wayomru, and they said, Wayomru, they said, Lo na'ileh, we will not come up, we will not go up, we will not aliyah up, Lo na'ileh. They said that they would not come up. Then what happened? Moses delayed Yahweh Eloheinu's judgment. Within the narrative, we see that Moses, he causes Yah's judgment to be delayed. He delays Yahweh's judgment, giving them, right? Ironically, right here, he gave them opportunity to repent. He gave them opportunity to change their mind. In Numbers chapter 16, same chapter here, in verse 5. Note verse 5 and also note verse 16. In verse 5, he said to Korah and all his company, in the boker, in the dawning, the morning, Yahweh will show who is his and who is holy, and will bring him near to him. The one whom he chooses, he will bring near to him. In the Septuagint, this verse brings out the sense that Yahweh knows those who are his. The sense is Yahweh knows those who are his. In 16:16, Moshe said to Korah, he said, be present, you and all your company, Lifnei Yahweh, before Jehovah, you and they, and them, and Aharon and Aaron tomorrow. So this delay here gives some time and opportunity for them possibly to think over their actions and decisions. And finally, we have in the same chapter, Numbers chapter 16, verse 25, finally Moshe, right? We have Moses, it says here, Moses rose up and went to them. Let's go to verse 25 for a moment, KJV wise. And it says, and Moses rose up and went to Datan and Abiram. And the elders of Yisrael, he even brought, and the elders followed him, right, to Datan and Abiram. Wayakam, and rising up, Wayakam Moshe, Moses rising up, Wayelek, and Yelek, going, walking, going, Il Datan, to Datan, Abiram, and Abiram, Yelku, and Yelku, and they followed or walked Acharayo after him, the Ziknei Yisrael. So even the Zakanim, right, the Ziknei Yisrael, the elders of Israel, they also, right, to make what? A personal appeal, making a personal appeal. So we see this threefold level right here. He sent for them in Numbers chapter 16, verse 12. They rebuff. They said, Lo na'aleh, we will not come up, we will not go up, right? Then Moses delayed Yahweh's judgment, giving them an opportunity to repent, like giving them, like, think over it, like, take the night to think over it. Give me your answer in the morning, right? But he likes to say that Yahweh will give you his answer, but that still was opportunity for them to think over their decision. Finally, Moses rose up and went to them. Wayakam, Wayelek. Wayakam, he rose up, Wayelek, and he went to them to make a personal appeal. Notice that Datan and Abiram, they repudiated Moshe by saying, is it a small thing that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us, to dead on us in the wilderness, that you must also make yourself a prince over us. So we find there's some common themes brought out even from Exodus, right? The whole thing about prince. Remember the men that said, they said to Moses, like, who has made you a prince and a judge over us? Check out Numbers chapter 13. Numbers chapter 16, verse 13. Numbers chapter 16, verse 13, as well as Exodus chapter 2, verse 14. In Numbers chapter 16, verse 13, they say, is it a small thing, that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us, to dead on us in the Midbar in the wilderness, that you must also make yourself a prince over us. Compare this, contrast it with Exodus chapter 2, verse 14. And he answered, the unnamed he there, and he answered to Moshe, and he answered, who made you a prince and a judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed Hamitzri, as you killed the Tawi, the Egyptian? Then Moshe was afraid and thought, surely this thing is known. You see the connection right there? Almost the very same, identical, not just statement, but that emphasis. Will you make yourself a prince? Not only have you brought us, out of this land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness. Now notice that these men, right? For these men, Mitzrayim, the Tawi, Egypt, to them, notice, and it's saying for everybody, all the other Israelites. See, this reading comprehension is important. But to these two right here, they had the impression that Mitzrayim was a land flowing with milk and honey, and that Moshe had took them out of there to dead on them, to kill them in the wilderness. For the wicked, the Rasha, the Hebrew word for wicked, Rasha, in the singular sense, Rishaim, wicked ones, in the Hebrew context actually mean like defiant ones. Ones being defiant, right? So for the wicked, the wickedly defiant, nothing, no thing seems as fine as the debauchery and the flesh pots of Mitzrayim. This is why Chaverim, they say this right here, KJV brings it out as a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us, to mute on us, to dead on us in the Midbar, except, here's the key, except thou makest thyself altogether a prince over us. It's interesting, the Hebrew sense of this. The same word for prince, right? Sarah, right? To make oneself like to act the prince. Like you are acting the act of the prince over us. You're acting just like you are prince over us. Ha-me'at. Is it the small? Is it small? Ha-me'at. Me'at is to say small. Ha-me'at aki. He-elitanu. You have brought us me'eretza, from a land. Zevat chalab. Zebat, flowing with chalab u devash. Chalab, milk u and devash. Chalab u devash, milk and honey. La hemitenu. So you have brought us up, he elitanu, la hemitenu, to dead on us, bamidbar, in the wilderness. Ki tisatarer, for you are acting the act of the prince, aleinu, over upon us, gam hisatarer, also to be a prince over us. It's interesting there, construction of the Hebrew there, but the Chofetz Chaim, it notes that Moshe's actions in the previous, how he went to them, he sent for them, you know what I mean? You know, he gave them a day, you know, to the next day to think it over. And then he went forward to them with the elders. Moses' actions demonstrate that every person is obliged to avoid disputes, even if he might otherwise be justified. You know, so, you know, Moses could have said, listen, y'all, you know, Yahweh, you know, when I was out there tending to the sheep of my father-in-law, y'all don't know what happened. Y'all seen what happened in Exodus. Y'all seen what happened with Paro. You know, he could have just said that, but Moses' actions demonstrate, right, that every person, ani va'ani, is obliged to avoid disputes, even if he might otherwise be justified, made righteous. Everything should be done l'shem shemayim, for the sake of heaven. L'shem shemayim, l'shem, for the name of the heavens, for the sake of heaven. L'shem shemayim. And anger is often a symptom that other motives are involved in a dispute. Check. Anger is often a symptom that other motives are involved in a dispute. It's like when we say you see the tip of the iceberg, but below the waterline is a bigger, you know, thing, right? As Abraham Heschel had said, in a controversy, in a controversy, the instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for truth and have begun striving for ourselves. In a controversy, the instant that we feel anger, we should just take a deep breath, you know, for real, right? But the instant that we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for truth. We swerved and have begun striving for ourselves. Likewise, Maimonides, he likened those who become angry as idol worshippers. Maimonides regarded those who become angry likewise as idol worshippers. Why? Why that, Maimonides? Well, since the exaltation of the will is made absolute by exalting the will, the individual ego-driven will. You know, the hilchot deot. Once the individual will is exalted, is made absolute. This concept is enshrined in a Mishnah, in a study from the Perkei Avot, the advice, the ethics of the father, Perkot Avot, Perkei Avot 5 and 20, Perkei Avot 5 and 20. Any machlokot, any argument, machloket, that is for the sake of heaven, l'shem shamayim, will stand. Any argument that is for the sake of heaven will stand. And any machloket argument that is not for the sake of heaven will not stand. No need to get angry about it. So any argument that's for the sake of heaven, once you make that argument, l'shem shamayim, right, it will stand. And any machloket that is not l'shem shamayim, right, it will not stand. For the sages, a dispute between the house of Shammai, the ancient times, right, roughly around the time of Rabbeinu Yeshua, for the sages there was a dispute between the house of Shammai and the house of Hillel, was for the sake of heaven, whereas that of Korah and his co-conspirators was clearly not. The difference had to do with the aim. What was the aim? What was Korah's aim, right? Or the end of the dispute? For the sake of aspect. What was it the sake of? For the sake of what? Right? Leshem what? Leshem what? Was it for Leshem Shemayim or for the Shem of Korah? In the case of the various Shammai and Hillel disputes, the goal was to discern the will of Elohim. What is the will of Elohim? And when a dispute was settled, everyone agreed to follow the ascertained course with civility. So even though there were disputes, the disputes should not become, uncivil, right? In the the case of Korah and his followers, however, each person contended for his own honor and power, to say for his own name and acclaim. The claim that the true, quote, land of milk and honey was in Mitzrayim. People often miss that right there. For real? Right? The claim that the true land of milk and honey was in Mitzrayim rather than in the land promised to the patriarchs, right? The Hebrew trinity of patriarchs of the Beta Israel. This radically questioned Moshe's entire mission. That was intended as a mission kill right there, right? Threatened and questioned Moses' entire mission and ministry. Korah's alliance, he made an alliance. The Torah portion reading and feeding begins by pointing out this alliance with Datan and Abiram. Essentially, it constituted a reversion, right? A reversion, right? To the life in Mitzrayim, to go back down. After Yah brought you up, you want to go back down. Where the role of the firstborn son was regarded as the chieftain, right? The chieftain of the clan. So in ancient Mitzrayim and in other nations, but we take Mitzrayim here, right, based on their statement, the role of the Bechor, right, the firstborn was regarded as the Rosh, the Ras, right, of the Mishpacha, of the family, of the clan. Moshe's Torah that we have here, it did away with the old order of the primogenitor, who was born first, by making the Levim, the Levites, as Elohim's chosen ministers. Korah called for a return to the old order, go back to the old guard. You know, it's like he wanted to make Mitzrayim great again, where he and his co-conspirators enjoyed a measure of worldly prominence. His rallying cry of power to the people. That's what Korah is stating here. Right? And if you haven't picked up on that, come, make we study this right here. His rallying cry was power to the people. He said, all the people are holy, all of them. Moses, what you do, right? Power to the people was therefore, it was disingenuous, right? It was based on duplicity. And basically it was a sham. It was a sham and it was a scam. Perhaps the real inner motive of Korah, them crazy ballhead, we haven't even touched on the name just yet, but the inner motive of Korah was one of jealousy or envy. Despite all his privileges, remember, he has privilege, he's in a good state, he's one of them who carried the Ark of the Covenant. What? Despite all his privileges, Korah refused to be at shalom, at peace, at shalom, and shalom with his cousins berkot, with his cousins' blessings, his cousins' empowerment to prosper. His envy led him to be a taker, Wayikach, Korah, and Korah took, to be a taker rather than a giver, Wayikach, Korah, and Korah took. And like most of the other instigators that lusted and desired and coveted it for power over others, Korah, influenced by Datan and Abiram, he made his appeal to the crowd. Notice that he made his appeal to the crowd. This reminds me of what happened in the previous Torah reading and feeding, Shalach Lekah. When the spies were sent forward by Moses and Aharon, when they came forward, they didn't report to Moses and Aharon, they reported to the people, right? You know, and they went out of order, right? And in the same way, we get Korah and Datan and Abiram, right? Korah making his appeal to the crowd. He waged a campaign that spread like an infection throughout the camp of Yisrael, throughout the Beit Yisrael, throughout the Beta Israel. By winning the favor of the crowd, he acquired a false sense, a pseudo sense of strength, a pseudo sense of rightness, a pseudo sense of authority. All right? Within the clamor of the crowd, Korah, he was able to disguise his real motive, his real envy, his real ambition for power by claiming that he was motivated by a sense of democracy, power to the people, and equal rights for all. For real, check it. This is also what happened in the previous Torah reading and feeding, right? That they listened to the majority, to 10 out of the 12, not to the 2 who are right and rightly guided and faithful. So they made a democratic decision even there, and it was they voted for the Democratic Donkeycrat Party. But here is the same thing that Korah, being motivated by a pseudo sense of democracy. What does democracy mean? Right? Power to the people, right? The people, the people's rule, equal rights for all. Remember he said that all the people are holy. I mean, just after what happened in the previous Torah portion, he has the audacity. He then made his pitch to the other princes, Nisieh Yisrael, to the other princes of Israel, pretending himself to be a man for the people, Korah, right, who only wanted power to the people, power for the people. The Bamidbar Rabbah 18 brings this sense out. So after securing the political alliance of 250 other men of influence, other Nisieh Yisrael, princes of Israel, who undoubtedly, they were hedging their bets. They were kind of hedging their bets in the political showdown to come. Korah, he was emboldened to confront Moshe with these words that we find in Numbers chapter 16, verse 3. All the community are holy, all of them, and Yahweh is in their midst. Why then do you raise yourselves above Yahweh's congregation? He's saying like the congregation is holy, but you guys are on some trickery. KJV brings it out like this here. It says, and he gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron and said to them, ye take. Now in the KJV, you'll see the ye and take. But ye take is italicized. It's not there in the Hebrew. The force of the Hebrew is what they said to them. Too much upon you, seeing all the congregation holy, every one of them, and Yahuwah among them. Wherefore then lift y'all up yourselves above the congregation of Yahuwah. It is, instead of y'all take, the Hebrew brings out the sense of it is much for you. It is much for you. It is enough for you. Wayikahilu. They gathered together. Wayikahilu. They played church. Wayikahilu in the Hebrew brings up the sense of, and they played church. Right? The kahal, the kahila. Wayikahilu. And they gathered together al Moshe. They played church against Moses. Al Aharon. And against Aaron. Wayomru, and they said, Lehem, they said to them, Rab Lakem, enough for y'all. Rab Lakem is too much for y'all. It's enough for y'all. Rab Lakem, key for Kol HaEdah, all the congregation, the Edah, Kol HaEdah, Kulam, all of them. He actually used that word, Kulam, all of them, Kulam Kedoshim. He says that all of them are Kedoshim. Now using this must be madness. Korah must be a crazy bald head. He's a madman. How can he be so mad just after what just had happened? For him and them to say, Rab Lakem, Ki Kol HaEdah Kulam Kedoshim. All of them are Kedoshim. Ua Betokam. And amongst them, in the midst of them, and Betokam, Tokam, in the midst of them, Yahuwah, in the midst of them is he who be who he be. Madua, and why? Madua, Madua. Tita Nasu. Tita Nasu. Why do you nasa yourself? Lift up yourself. Umadua Tita Nasu. Allah Kahal Yahweh over the church, the gathering, the Kahal in the New Testament sense, we say the Kahillah, the church, the Kahal, the gathering together. Church is not a building, but the gathering together. So here he is saying, and why? Tell us why. Tell us why. Umadua. Cause us to know. Umadua. Tita Nasu'u. Why y'all are raising. The sense is like y'all keep raising yourself up. Allah Kahala Yahuwah over the congregation, above the congregation of Jehovah. So here, Korah has the audacity to speak for the congregation of Yahuwah. He knows that Kulam Kedoshim, that all of them are set apart ones. Yahuwah says, become holy ones. So obviously he's saying, well, they had already become Kedoshim, right? Rav Lakem, too much for y'all. Now, just to mention briefly, right, the outworkings of humanity's spiritual history is essentially a conflict of Tov Ra. Tov, good, Vera, Wara, and evil. Beneficial and harmful. Ha'adon Yeshua referred to it, among other things, as a conflict between the kingdom of Elohim, the Malkut Elohim, and the kingdom of Satan, of Ha-Satan. Have this in John chapter 8, verse 34 to 36, just to bring this out right here. Yeshua answered them, truly, truly, amen, amen. Omer Lakem, I say to you, everyone who practices sin, chet, is a slave, a servant to chet, to sin, to uckery. The slave, the servant, does not remain in the bait, in the house forever. The son remains forever. The servant, the slave, does not remain in habayit, in the bait, forever. The son remains forever. So, if the son sets y'all free, y'all will be free indeed. Here, bringing out this point of the conflict. The apostles likewise, in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 8, Colossians chapter 1, verse 13, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 5, it speaks of the children of darkness, of disilluminment, and the children of light, the children of darkness and the children of light, of the true illumination. Politically speaking, even St. Augustine, he described this kind of a cosmic conflict as between the, quote, city of man and the, quote, city of God, the city of Elohim. Worldly politics nearly always involves some form of violence against those who belong to Elohim. Again, worldly politics nearly always involve some form of violence against those who belong to Elohim. Think about it, even in the Rastafari movement, the political violence, in Jamaica at that time. That just gives you kind of a hint of it. Think about what's going on now. They say if this one or that one don't go get in, then this violence and civil wars come in. Matthew 11 and 12 says, from the days of John the Baptist, right, Yochanan, right, Hamatvil, right, until now, the Malkuta Hashemayim has suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of the heavens have suffered violence, pushy, shoviness, and the violent, the pushy, the shovey, take it by force. So how does this relate to Korah taking? Wayikah, Korah, and Korah took in order to gain. Whereas Moshe, he gave in order to serve. So Korah took in order to gain, and Moshe gives in order to serve. Moshe and Korah, though closely related by mishpacha, by family genealogy, they reveal radical differences in their spiritual identities. Discontent always leads to the graves of craving. Remember the graves of lust, the graves, the kivrot ha'ta'awa, right? The graves of craving. As the story of Korah's rebellion further, it testifies. Now let's look a bit more right here. The Malbim, ancient Yehudi writings, they write, according to HaTorah v'HaMitzvah, that each man in Korah's assembly oppose each other. So you know that it's like in the politics, they all come out together and they're like, yeah, they're one consensus, they're a pack. This pack against Moshe, right? But each man in Korah's assembly, right, oppose each other. Korah wanted the role of the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. Datan and Abiram, they rejected the role of the Levites and wanted the sanctuary to belong to the tribe of Reuben. And the 250 princes, they wanted the kahuna, the priesthood, to belong to the nobility, to the noble mishpachot, the noble clans of Yisrael, in the name of the people. Of course, it's in the name of the people. You know what I mean? It's all for the people, right? The sages, therefore, call this the dispute of Korah and all his assembly. So the ancient sages in studying the Torah call this Torah portion, reading and feeding, and the main theme was the dispute of Korah and all his assembly, all his church. Since each person only had himself in mind, opposing others in the rebellion. So it was a rebellion, but a rebellion within a rebellion. Hence, we see Moshe appealing to Yahweh Eloheinu not to hear his adversaries' prayers. Isn't that interesting? That Moses said in this Torah reading and feeding, he says, he gives a prayer to Yahweh Eloheinu, Aina Elohim. And what's his prayer? His prayer basically is not to hear, that may Yah not hear his adversaries' prayers. We have this in Numbers chapter 16, right? Verse 15. And Moshe was very wroth and said, what did he say? He said to Yahweh, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. It's interesting in the Hebrew, the ra'a'a is the word hurt. I haven't done one of them evil. Directly in the Hebrew, which can also mean to hurt, evil. Here, why yichara le Moshe me'od. Why and yichar le Moshe me'od. And Moses was wroth. Why yomer, righteous indignation. Why yomer, and he said, Il Yahuwah, al tefen. Right? He said, respect not. Al tefen from pana means to turn the face. Basically, it says don't turn your face, right? Don't give your face to it. I won't say turn away your face. Ala tefen illa mina chatam. Don't turn your face. In other words, don't respect their minka, their offering, their tribute. Ala tefena illa mina chatam. Lo chamora echad. Not a donkey one, not one donkey. Lo chamor echad. Mayhem. Not one donkey from them. Nasati have I taken. Not one donkey from them have I taken. Willo hireoti, and have not done evil, to say done hurt. Willo hireoti eta achad mayhem, and have not hurt echad, one mayhem. I have not hurt one from them. So he prays that their prayers and their offering be not respected, right, by Yahweh, that his adversaries' prayers be not heard. There is hidden consolation in all this. Hasatan, Satan's hierarchy, is one marked by infighting and confusion. What's the hidden consolation? Well, Hasatan, the adversary's hierarchy, is one that is marked by infighting and confusion. Political power is exercised ultimately by threat of force or murder. Politics, yes, politics. We can rightfully pray that Yahweh Eloheinu will bring to confusion, Babylon, bring to confusion and disunity the schemes of the wicked, the schemes of the ratchet. Various psalms speak to this. A couple of them, Psalm 2, verses 2 to 5, Psalm 35, verse 4, Psalm 70, verse 3, Psalm 109, verse 29. No machloket, no argument that is for the sake of heaven, l'shem shamayim, that is not for the sake of heaven will stand. No machloket, argument that is not for the sake of heaven will stand. No weapon formed against Yah's true servants will prosper, and no curse, no cuss directed against them or I will prevail. Here we have Proverbs chapter 26, verse 2. Just to bring this here as an exhibit. Like a sparrow, a little bird, the sipora, like a little bird in its flitting, like a swallow in its flying, a curse that is causeless does not alight. In other words, it says the curse causeless shall not come. A curse that is causeless does not alight. Right? Does not alight. Yes, yes. Korah's reactionary propaganda campaign, it nearly succeeded. As the people were ready to stone Moses, Moshe, Bamidbar Rabbah brings it out. Though in the end, Korah and his army were swallowed into the depths of the earth. After the showdown of the censers, the showdown of the fire pans, Moshe and Aharon were instructed to do what? They were instructed to separate themselves from the entire congregation of Yisrael because Yahweh Eloheinu was going to destroy them in an instant. But they fell on their faces and said, "Oh God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, El Elohei ha-ruchota lekol basar, El Almighty Power Elohei, the Elohim ha-ruchot of all spirits, lekol basar of all flesh. Shall one man sin, Akab, and will you be angry with all the congregation?" In Numbers chapter 16, verse 22. Yahweh then told them to instruct all the people to get away from the tents of Korah, Datan, and Abiram. Moshe then went before the tents of his rivals, Datan and Abiram, and affirmed that Yahweh has chosen him to lead Yisrael. He then pronounced Yahweh's judgment, and we have it written, the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up alive. Now, according to the Yehudi, and some Yehudi legend, speaks about the mouth of the pit. The mouth of the pit. The mouth of the pit that swallowed Korah and his followers was one of the 10 things that Yahweh made just before the first Shabbat of creation, according to Perkei Avot, Ethics of the Fathers 5 and 9. The other 9 were said to be the well of Miriam, the mouth of Balaam's donkey, the rainbow, the manna, the staff of Aaron, the shamir worm. The shamir worm is the one used to inscribe the name of the tribes on the gemstones of the Kohen Gadol's Choshen breastplate, the Hebrew script, the inscription of the tablets, and as well as the tablets themselves. The sages state that the rebels were punished by the mouth of the earth. As it says, the earth opened her mouth, the mouth of the earth. Because they sinned, they ucked up with their mouth. They spoke the Lashon Hara, the horrible tongue, the evil speech, Lashon Hara, by disparaging Moshe and Aharon. And just as Korah sought to, quote, eat up the world, he wanted to eat up the world for his own purposes, so the earth herself swallowed up his carnal, his fleshy illusions and delusions. What is this called, Chaverim? Hebraically, this is called Mida Keneged Mida. Mida Keneged Mida, justice. Measure for measure. Mida Keneged Mida. Measure for measure, justice. Tzedek. John chapter 4, verse 37. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 brings it out in the Brit Chadasha. For here the saying holds true. One sows and another reaps. John 4:37, Galatians 6 and 7. Do not be deceived. Elohim is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap. So the Mida, Keneged Mida, Tzedek, measure for measure, justice. Because Korah and his followers wanted, they desired, they coveted to elevate themselves. They were brought down into the depths, the deepest parts of the Eretz, of the earth. Proverbs 16:18, Luke 18:14 brings out this sense right here, Chaverim. Let's see if we can bring this out right here. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit, a haughty ruach, before a fall. Luke 18:14. I tell you, this man went down to Beito justified. This man went down to his bait, his house, justified, made righteous, rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. It's kind of interesting right there. Raven word just came to mind. How many times we find when Moshe and Aharon are confronted like this, they prostrate. They humble themselves. It's almost like they duck, in a sense. They prostrate. This is the image, right? The image of the depths of the earth is that image of Sheol, right? The Hebrew duat, the underworld, the netherworld in the Torah, right? Where the conspirators are thrown alive into the netherworld, the underworld, or a pit, the Sheol. But note that this principle works the other way around too. Though the fire, the Aish Meyahweh, the fire from Jehovah went forth and consumed the 250 men who offered the Ketoret, the Aishins, illegally, the fire, Ha'esh, that kindled the Aishins of Aaron's fire pot, his censer, was used, same fire, was used to be the means by that Yahweh stopped the plague. This was meant to show that it was not the Ketoret, the Aishins itself, that killed, but the Het, the sin of arrogantly offering strange Aish, strange fire, Lifnei HaMishkan, before the sanctuary. Fire offered falsely, the Aish, fire, loose fire. Fire offered falsely will be answered by the Aish of Yahweh's judgment. The world offers its version of God's real so-called milk and honey, and Korah and the other rebels recalled its savor. Clinging to past pleasures is a symptom of bondage, similar to eating the food. C.S. Lewis speaks about this, the food of the white witch is similar to eating the food of the white witch, right? that poisoned Edmund, right? Edmund in C.S. Lewis's story of the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe. To the name right here, we'll pick up with more on the name, but to the name Korah. Korah means bald, and Korah means ice. So there's a twofold meaning, bald and ice. Korah. Both of these, they imply Hebraically a lack of fertility or growth. So Korah means bald, baldness, but it also means ice. What's the connection? Well, when the winter season comes in and the weather is colder, well, the field does not flower and sprout. It becomes bald. The field becomes bald, right? So this is the link Hebraically between Korah, meaning bald, the baldness implying infertility, right, and lack of growth, right? Just as hair does not grow on a bald head, or vegetation does not grow from ice. So Korah, he represents a self-centeredness. Also, Korah represents a lack of growth from a psycho-spiritual root cause. Some of the sages note that Shemo, his name suggests kah, in Hebrew kah. Kah in Hebrew from lakah, to take, means taking, kah. Kah ra. So in looking at Korah, some of the sages bring out Hebraically two Hebrew words, kah, taking, ra'a, taking evil, right? That is the madness governed by an entirely self-centered existence. So surely, Korah, right, this madman, somewhat mysterious, but as we study, we get to recognize that BMW brought it out best.
Chase those crazy bullets out of the young.
Yes. So here we have Psalm 119, an interesting contrast to the portion on Korah right there. 119, the longest psalm. We're going to at least get a good groundation. Hopefully, y'all will as we come up the final hour right here on the podcast. BMW, Bob Marley and the Wailers, the crazy bald head tune. But we had Johnny Clark version. Yes.
Chase them
daily psalm, longest psalm right here, Psalm 119, Mizmor Kof Yod Et, Kof Yud Et, Psalm 119, Psalm CXIX, right here, here. Here, we're gonna zoom in on the first of the Hebrews. It's an alphabetical psalm right here, but hear this first right here. Again, Shalom Chaverim. Here we have today's daily psalm. We have
Psalm 119.
מזמור קי"ט א' 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 א'
Aleph.
אשרי תמימי דרך 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 דרך
Blessed are the undefiled in the way, 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 in the way.
ההולכים בתורת אדוני 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 אדוני
Who walk in the law of the Lord, of the Lord, of the Lord, of the Lord, of the Lord.
אשרי נוצרי עדותיו 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 עדותיו
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies, his testimonies, his testimonies, his testimonies.
בכל לב ידרשוהו 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 ידרשוהו
And that seek him with the whole heart, the whole heart, the whole heart, the whole heart, the whole heart.
אף לא פעלו עוולה 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 עוולה
They also do no iniquity, no iniquity, no iniquity, no iniquity.
בדרכיו הלכו והלכו 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 והלכו.
They walk in his ways, in his ways, in his ways, in his ways.
אתה ציווית 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 ציווית.
Thou hast commanded us, commanded us, commanded us, commanded us, commanded us.
פיקודיך לשמור מאוד, שמור מאוד, שמור מאוד, שמור מאוד, שמור מאוד, שמור מאוד.
To keep thy precepts diligently, diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes, thy statutes, thy statutes, thy statutes, thy statutes.
אחלי ייכונו דרכי לשמור חוקיך, 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 חוקיך.
Then shall I not be ashamed, 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 not be ashamed.
אז לא אבוש, לא אבוש, לא אבוש, לא אבוש, לא אבוש.
When I have respect unto all thy commandments, 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 all thy commandments.
בהביטי אל כל מצוותיך, 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 מצוותיך.
I will praise thee with uprightness of heart, 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 uprightness of heart.
עודך ביושר לבב, שר לבב, שר לבב, שר לבב, שר לבב, שר לבב.
When I shall have learned thy righteous judge, 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 thy righteous.
בלומדי משפטי צדקך, 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 צדקך.
I will keep thy statutes, thy statutes, thy statutes, thy statutes, thy statutes.
את חוקיך אשמור, 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 אשמור.
Oh, forsake me not utterly, 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 utterly.
אל תעזבני, 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 עד מאוד, 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 עד מאוד.
So here, Mizmor Kof Yud Et, Kof Yod Et, Psalm CXIX, Psalm 119. Its theme here, Chaverim, Torah, the way of life, the way of liberty. It's a 22-fold string of aphorisms by one who is persecuted, falsely prosecuted for the sake of emunato, his faith, his credit, his yea, and amen, amen. Here, 22-fold string, 22 number of letters in the Hebrew, Aleph, Beit. Here we have Torah, the way of life, Torah, the way of liberty. An extraordinary declaration of the joy and the help that HaTorah, Yah's directions, his instructions bring to those who conduct their life, their liberty under its direction. Here, this fills the longest of the Psalms in the Psalter, in the Sefer Tehillim. It consists of 22 stanzas to correspond with the number of letters, right, the otot, in the Ivrit Aleph Beit, in the Hebrew alphabet. Each stanza comprises 8 verses, all beginning with the same letter, the Hebrew letter in turn, until the Ivrit Aleph Beit, the Hebrew alphabet, is completed. That the author was acquainted with Psalm 19, right? We have Psalm 19, XIX, right? Verses 8 to 10, right? Verses 8 to 10, KJV, be 7 to 9, is certain because he adopts the key words. There's some Hebraic and certain key words used there. They're used. And taking them and others as his motif, he weaves them, right, into a verbal fugue, a verbal kind of symphony. It is an indivisible dual, an individual who draws so lavishly upon his resource of the Ivrit, the Hebrew language, to convey his love for and of HaTorah, Yah's direction, instruction, and what a force it is in his life, in his liberty. And may it be such an I life and I liberty. But he is the spokesman of many of his co-spiritualists, co-really righteous, co-religionists who would endorse his tribute. He is said to have probably lived in the 5th century and was an ardent disciple, an ardent Talmud, a student, a disciple of the school of Ezra, Ezra HaSophir, of Ezra the scribe. So each of the 8 verses, beginning with the respective in order letters of the Hebrew Aleph Beit. So here in the first section that we had the Aleph, right? The Aleph. So we have certain key words. The key words right here. First key word is Torah, right? Then we have the key word of testimonies, right? The edut, edotayo, the testimonies, right? Then we have the third key word of the precepts, right? The precepts as we find it in verse, let's go over here. We find it in verse 4, just to get the KJV side by side. They say precepts in KJV, yes, say precepts as well. Third key word. Then we have statutes, right? There's 8 key words. Statutes is the 4th key word. Then we have commandments, right? The 5th key word, right? The 6th key word is ordinance, the ordinances or the judgments, the ordinances, right? We have the 7th key word, davar, word. And then we have imra, which often is translated as word as well in the 11th verse, but actually Hebraically it's more close to speech, right? So in the KJV we have words sometimes, translated from davar word. In the beginning was ha-dabar, and the word ha-dabar was with Elohim. And then we have imra. Imra is more correctly Hebraically as speech, right? As speech. So touching on a few of these key words right here, Torah, right? The way, Yahweh of life, Mizmor Kof Yud 8, Psalm 119, Kof 100, Yod 10, 8, 9. Mizmor Kof Yod 8, Kof Yud 8. Here. Let's touch on this right here. Touch on some of these key words right here in the Aleph section to get a good groundation on these 8 keywords. KJV says Aleph. If you look in the King James Version, you can actually get a good grasp of the basics of the Hebrew alphabet, because that's a psalm right there in the King James Version. Some Bibles even have, you could say the Hebrew, the Hebrew form of it as well. Usually the Asherit, the later Hebrew. But here, the Aleph. KJV reads Aleph, Aleph, Aleph. Bless the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord. Blessed, or more better Hebraically, happy. Happy are they that are perfect or sincere. Happy are they that are upright in the way, who walk in the law, in the Torah of Yahweh. Ashrei timimei darek ha holkim b'Torat Yahweh. Ashrei, happy, the happiness. Timimei are those who are undefiled. Tamim. Tamim in the Hebrew means to be complete, to be whole, to be entire, to be sound. Tamim, the entirety, right? Literally, figuratively, morally, tamim, entire, right? Also as a noun, integrity or truth. The Hebraic sense is without blemish, the undefiled. Timimei, the undefiled. Darek, the way, the Darek, and the Derek, the Darek. Timimei Darek. Ha holkim, the walkers, the trotters. Ha holkim from halak, to walk, to trot. Holkim, those who walk. Ha, definite article, the walkers, the trotters. Ha holkim bit Torat, in the Torah of, bit Torat, in the instruction of Yahweh, of he who be, who he be. So we see blessed in the KJV, that's not the Baruch, bless. Here we have Ashrei, happiness, the happiness of the undefiled, the perfect, the sincere of way, the walkers in the instruction of Jehovah. Ashrei temimeya dareka haholkim b'Torat Yahweh. The upright, or the tamim, those who are entire, right? To say entire, complete, sound, right? Sound, according, entirety, and entirely in accordance with the truth and with the fact. Temimei darek, the upright, right? The same word is used in Genesis and Bereshit, Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. In Genesis chapter 17, verse 1, where we read, walk before I, and be thou wholehearted, be thou tamim, perfect, right? Those to whom the epithet applies are undivided in their allegiance and completely guided by Ha-Torah, by Yah's direction, instruction. To put this word tamim in a better, maybe a working, applicable sense, when an offering is offered, it's supposed to be without blemish, right? Complete. In other words, as Yahweh created, for example, the animals, if it has one head, and 4 legs and a tail and this and that, it's not to have anything more or anything less. This is the sense right here. In the way, right? Timimei darek, in the darek, the derek, the path of life and liberty that is delineated for man, for the human being, in the divine revelation. First key word right here, b'Torat Yahweh, in the Torah of Yahweh, the Hebrew Torah. This is the first and the most comprehensive of the keywords. This word Torah, right, in Torat Yahweh, the Torah of Jehovah, the word Torah is inaccurately translated by the term, quote, law, that has given the wrong impression that a so-called legal or worldly legal system is intended. The true meaning of Torah is teaching, direction, instruction, Torah, from the Yara, to point to aim, Yara, the Torah, right? And it connotates or connotes the whole will. What is the whole will of Elohim Chaim, the living Elohim, as imparted and also inputted to man for his guidance and protection. Here, the bait verse right here, the second verse. KJV says, bless they that keep his testimonies, seek him with the whole heart. Now, the KJV says, bless, actually, this is the Hebrew, Ashrei. Remember, in the Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, each verse begins with Aleph, right? So the first verse begins with Ashrei. Here, the bait verse begins with Ashrei, happiness. As the first psalm, Ashrei Ha'ish, the happiness of the man. First psalm, Ashrei Notzrei Edotayo B'kol Leba Yida Reshuhu. Ashrei Notzrei, happiness of those who Natsar. Of interest here, Natsar is linked to the translation in the King James Version, other version of Nazareth, when it says Yeshua of Nazareth, Yeshua HaNotzri. And one of the early references to the Nazarenes, the Notzrim, right? Before they were called Christianoi, right? They were called Nazarene. Here, Ashrei Notzrei, happiness of they who keep. Ashrei Notzrei Edotav, Ashrei Notzrei Edotayo B'kol Leva Yidareshu, that seek him. Yidareshu, Yidareshu, they who seek who? They who seek him. B'kol, in all lay, in all heart. The kolev, the kolei, with all heart, or for whole, to say for whole or complete. All heart, whole heart. Here we have the second key word, the edot, or the edut, the testimonies. Edot, testimony, edotayo, edotav, his testimony. So here we have the second key word, edot, the second key word. Edot are the rules of conduct. The testimonies, what are testimonies? The testimonies are the rules of conduct that attest, that testify the divine will, that seek him. Yid Rishu Hu. Yid Rishu, the seekers of who? Him. Yid Rishu Hu, that seek him. Verse 10 as well, in this psalm, Mizmor Kof Yod 8, verse 10, and Deuteronomy chapter 4, right, verse 29. They earnestly, those who seek him, they set out on the quest to discover how Yahweh Eloheinu desires and seeks man to live his liberty and his life. Interesting thing about the word Yidrishu, who is from Darash. Darash, right, when it says seek the Lord while he may be found. Darash, the Yidrishu root word, Darash, means to seek, means to inquire, it means to investigate. Hebraically, it means to practice, it means to study, right? So seek him even by the study of Ha-Torah. But seek him how? Seek him b'kolei, with all heart, for whole heart, with the fullest concentration. Kawana or kavana, concentration on the mental faculty upon the task of the darash and the midrash and the study of Ha-Torah. Here, bringing it to the Gamel verse, the third verse right here for the Aleph section of today's daily psalm. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. Afloa fa'lo. Avla fa'lo avla. Bia derakayo halku. Be Drakayo, Drakav Halku. Here. Yea, af. Hebraically, af. Af, it doesn't come out in the translation, but it's like, yea, also, af. Furthermore, indeed, af. Af is like a particle, it's an accession, like you are, confirming, yea, also, though, it has a sense of that. So more better is, yea, they do no unrighteousness. Af, lo, pa'elo, avla, awla. They do no avla, no evel, awel, evel, injustice, unrighteousness. Evel is like moral evil, right? Moral evil has a sense of something distorted from the root awal, aval, to distort, to twist something. They do no unrighteousness. They don't practice any evil. Do no unrighteousness, because the fundamental purpose of Torah, of Yah's instruction, is to withhold man from the path of ra'ah, of that which is hurtful, harmful, bad, not beneficial. Here it says, be derakayo, in his ways, derakayo, halku, right? They walk, they halaka, be a derakayo, derakav halku, the ways of righteousness. So right here to the Dalet, the fourth verse right here. Thou hast commanded to keep thy precepts diligently. Ataz uita fikudeka lishmor meod. Ata, the I male. Ata, the pronouns for speaking to a male. Ata, you, thee, I. Ata, thou. Ata tsuita. Ata tsuvita. Ata tsuita has commanded. Fikudeka, thy precepts, lishmor, to keep, to hedge, to guard, to observe, lishmor, meod, enough, much, enough, lishmor, meod, bringing us out that we should observe them, right? To observe, fikudeka, thy precepts diligently, lishmor, meod, to observe it, enough, to keep it, to guard it, enough. Here we have the third key word right here, fikud, a precept, an appointed, a mandate, the sense of a precept. The third key word, denoting particularized rules that it is man's duty to observe. So here we have fikudeka from fikud, right? Precepts. So far we have Torah, right? Edot from the edut sense, testimonies, and fikud from the sense of precepts. Here to the hey verse. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Achlai. Oh, achlai. Oh, with this, it's also another kind of a particle, like with that I, or with that this, or if that, if, not an if sense, but oh, that, oh, with that, right? Achlai. Achlaya yikono derakai. Lishmor chukeka, lishmor, to keep, chukeka, to keep thy hok, right? To keep thy statutes, hok and hukah, right? To keep thy statutes, right? Statutes. So here, we have the fourth key word, right? The fourth key word, achalai yekonenu, from kun, to be directed, yekonenu. The sense right here was that, oh, that derakai, my ways, yekonenu, were directed. more, to keep, to guard, to observe, chukeka, the I statutes, my ways, derakai, my derek way, derakai, my ways, my daily conduct, chukeka, right, from huk, right, the fourth key word. This does not occur in the earlier Psalm 19. Statutes in the form of the huk or the hok and the hukah. Hok, the male sense, hukah, right? In its literal meaning is that which is engraving, that which is chakak, that which was engraved. Like ancient laws and statutes and observance were engraved in ancient times in metal or in stone. And this here, some say, points to that ancient tradition as hukekah from hok. Hok and hukah comes from the Hebrew hakak. Hakak or hakak mean to hack or to engrave on stone. This was the common form in that the Torah, ancient laws, direction, instructions of a community, were often published by being engraved or hacked on stone. It signifies a Torah instruction regulating the life or the liberty of the individual, the indivisible dual, as a member, the ani, the I and I, as a member of society. Right here, to the wow, the va verse, the sixth verse right here in the Aleph section of today's daily psalm. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect to all thy commandments. Az loevosh, then, loevosh, loebosh. Then I should not be ashamed. I should not be bush, be disconcerted, be disappointed, be pale, right? I will not be pale. Loevosh, I'll be ashamed, disappointed, or delayed. Az loevosh bihabiti ilakola mitzvoteka. When I have respect. The word respect is from nabat. Nabat, right, means to scan, right? It sends by implications to regard with pleasure, favor, or care. Bihabiti, in my regarding, right, my scanning and regarding with pleasure and favor and care. Bihabiti il call to all mitzvoteka, to all your mitzvot, your commandments. Here we have the fifth key word, mitzvot, commandments, right? This is a general term for a law and instruction of Yahweh Eloheinu in the seer, the cipher of the really just, the spirituality, the religious, what ones might call the religious life and liberty. Not be ashamed, az loevosh, not be possessed by a feeling of remorse or being disconcerted at having failed to reach the ideal. Az loevosh bihabiti el kol mitzvoteka. So mitzvot, right here, on to the Zain. Zain, seventh Hebrew letter, the seventh verse, right here, right? I will praise thee with uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. When I shall have learned thy judgments, the judgments of thy righteousness, Odeka be yosher lebaba be lamdia misha pete idak eka. Odeka, I will praise the I male. Odeka be yosher leba. And by way of a yosher from yasha, upright. Yosher leba be yosher leba, with an upright heart, hard to come. Be lamdi in my learning. Be lamdi misha pete, in my learning of thy judgments of tzedek, of the eyes righteousness, the eyes tzedek. When I learn, bilamdi, in my lamdi, my learning, bilamdi, in my learning when I learn. The psalmist and I does not profess to be thoroughly conversant with Ha-Torah. He and I is a learner. And as his and I knowledge, I da'at increases, his and I heartical response with deeper thankfulness. Therefore, Odeka, I will thank the I male, Odeka be Yosher Leba, Bilamdiya Mishapete Sidkeka. Here, we have ordinances. The ordinances, or within the translated sense, mishpatei from mishpat, judgments, mishpatei, judgments of tzedkeka, of thy righteousness. Here we have judgments, the 6 key words, mishpatim, judgments. Judgments, this regulates man's relationship with his neighbor and are characterized by right choiceness, righteousness. So here we have the 6 of the 8 key words, and here, concluding this Aleph, first section of today's daily psalm. I will keep thy statutes, oh, forsake me not utterly. Now you notice right here they have statutes again. Right, statutes again, right here. So we're not gonna. It's not included. It's a repeat of statutes before. But here the verse: Et chukeka ashmor ala ta'azaveni ad meod. Et to chukeka, to thy statutes, eshmor, I will guard. I will hedge about, I will observe, eshmor, al, don't ta'azaveni, don't forsake, azab, ta'azab ani, don't forsake, azab ani, ala ta'azaveni, ad me'od, ad towards me'od, towards much. The sense of ad me'od is like not utterly. The sense of not utterly is brought out right there. Oh, forsake me not utterly. Ala ta'azaveni ad me'od. Sabachthani. Elohe, lama sabachthani. Azvatani. Azab. To forsake here. Oh, forsake me not utterly. Al ta'azaveni ad me'od. Mindful of Yisrael's fate when guilty of transgression, he and I prays to be spared that penalty, because his and I endeavor will be to adhere faithfully to what Yahweh Eloheinu, what he commands of I and we. Now here's the first section, the Aleph section. But so we can touch on all 8 key words right here, we'll have to go into the bait. The bait, Beth, some say bait, right? Beth, bat, daughter, bait, house. Here we have bait, right? Here we have verse 8, the 9th verse right here, beginning the 2nd Hebrew letter right here, and 8 verses here. But just to touch on 3, right? 1, 2, 3. We'll touch on 4 of these verses here, just to bring out the sense right here. Bet, wherewithal should a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed according to thy word. By taking heed according to thy word. Bameh ye zakeh na'ar. Bameh yizakeh na'ar. In what? To cleanse a young man. Bameh yizakeh na'ar. Eta archoa lishmor ki debareka, lishmor. And what shall a man, right? What shall wherewithal? In what? Literally the Hebrew ba in meh. What? In what shall a young man keep his way pure? Ba meh yizaken ar eta archo. Keep his way. Way here is from orach, a way, a path, literally like a well-trodden, right? A well-trodden road is an orach. So here it says, Bameh yizakeh na'ar, in what? To be pure, na'ar, a young man, et archo, his way, lishmor, in keeping, in guarding, in observing, ki, like as debareka, in accordance as with, the sense of with, ki debareka, in accordance with thy word, by taking heed thereto, according to thy word. Lishmor ki debareka. Young man, na'ar, young man. And a young man is mentioned here because young man, na'ar, is beset by temptations. But this brings us here to ki debareka, to the seventh key word, dabar. In the beginning was ha-dabar. The word was with Elohim, and the word was Elohim. Ha-dabar. The dabar, the seventh key word. This is a general term for, often said, for the express will of Yahweh Eloheinu. But in the Brit Chadash sense, right, we even know what the rabbis who believed in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, who knew Ha-Shalush HaKadosh, we know this is, right, the pre-incarnate Son, Ha-Dabar. Here, the seventh key word, Ki Debareka, Bameh Yizakeh Na'ar, Eta Archo, Lishmor Ki Debareka. Here to the Yod verse, the Yud verse, the 10th verse. With my whole heart have I sought thee I. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments. B'kol libi derashtika ala tashageni miya mitzvoteka. Here, b'kol libi, with my whole heart, in all my heart, b'kol libi derashtika, darashtika, I have sought the eye, sought to investigate the eye, even by way of your revealed Torah, derashtika, al tashkeni, don't cause me to err, make me not err, al tashgeni, don't cause me to shaga, al tashgeni, to shaga ani, al tashgeni, me from mitzvoteka, from the I, male commandments, with my whole heart, the I. This here brings out the second verse here in today's daily psalm, in Mizmor Kof Yud Et, let me not err, tashgeni, tasheg ani, tashgeni, cause I not to wander to shaga. Shaga means to astray, to go astray, to err, right? To be misled, to make mistake, to transgress, but cause me not to wander. Al tashgeni, me mitzvoteka, from the I commandments. Here. So let me not err, not intentionally, but inadvertently through defective da'at. If I do err, make it through defective da'at, through defective knowledge, incomplete knowing. But what's clearly here, what Moan Besses them together, Yehuda has advice to all to fulfill the 10 words, the 10 commandments, going with this word right here. Here, bringing us to the 11th verse, the Yod Aleph verse. Yud Aleph verse. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Believe, be in libi, believe, in libi, in my heart, safanti, I have hid like treasure, right? Safanti, I have hid, imrateka, thy word, but this word here is from Imra. Imra is an utterance. Imra properly is a speech. Imra, right? Be safantiya imrateka lima'an loa echeta lak. Lima'an, so that lo, not echeta, I don't utter. Lo echeta, that I up not lock against the eye. Lim'ana lo echeta lak. Here, bring us to the eighth and the last of the key words, right? Word, or more correctly, speech. Thy speech have I laid up in my heart. I've treasured it up in my heart. Bilibia afanti imrateka. The eyes, Imra. The eighth and last key word, Imra. Some say it's a poetical variant of Dabar. Dabar in verse 9. Actually, Imra is word in the sense of word, utterance, speech, and Dabar is word. The parallelism, we have this as well in Yeshaya, Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 24, where it says, they have rejected the law, Torah of Yahweh Sabaoth, of Jehovah of hosts, and contemned the word, the Imra, the speech of the Kadosh Yisrael, of the Holy One of Israel. Belibi, in my heart, Safanti, Safanti, I have laid up. The verb is commonly used of safeguarding precious objects. So the word for hid here is safan. Safan is to hide, but it's like to hide or store up, like to hide, like to reserve, to protect, the sense of preserving, protecting treasure, right? Treasure, precious object. So has the psalmist and I treated and should treat Yahweh's speech, right? Even his divine majesty's Imra, his Imra. This brings us right here to this 12th verse, right? Gonna pause at the Yod Beit right here, because this is an important part of the Baraka, right? The Hebraic, the Judaic Baraka. This is where it derives in the Siddur from Torah, right here. Here in Psalm 119, the Yod Beit verse. Blessed art thou, Yahweh, teach me thy statutes. Baruch atah, Yahweh, lamdeini yechukeka. Baruch, when you say Baruch atah, Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed art thou, Yahweh, Eloheinu, our Elohim, melech haolam, eternal King. Baruch atah, the Baruch atah, blessed art thou. Baruch, not Barak atah, but Baruch, blessed. He is blessed. He is empowered to prosper. Baruch atah, the I male, Yahweh, oh he who be. In modern Yehudinet Judaism, they would say Baruch atah Adonai. But here's where it comes from in Torah. Baruch atah Yahweh, lamdeini, teach me chukeka. Teach I, lamdeini, chukeka. In the relation of man to Elohim, to bless or to acknowledge as blessed means to prosper his cause. Baruch atah Yahweh, to prosper his cause by our consecration of heart, consecration of heart, soul, and might. That Trinity, trifecta in I, heart, soul, psyche, and might. To the advancement of Malkuto, of his kingdom, of his government. Right here. Just to finish the bait section right here, but that verse, note that right there. Here, the Yod Gimel verse. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. Bia sifataya separti, kola mishipateya fika, of thy the judgments, call all mishipate fika, right? With my lips have I told, be sifatai, in by way of my lips, si parti, I have narrated, I have told, be sifartai siparti, with my lips have I told. In addition to laying them upon his heart, and I article from verse 11, he and I should take every opportunity to speak of them for the instruction of others. The Yod Dalet, the 14th verse, I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies as in all riches. Bidareka edoteka. Sasati, ka al kol hon. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies as much as in all riches, as above all riches. He and I should find joyful satisfaction in Torah, such as others derive from the acquisition of material wealth. Bidareka edoteka sasatiya ka al kol hon. Here, 15th verse, etva verse, right here. I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect to thy ways. Bifikudeka asicha we abita orachoteka. I will meditate in thy precepts. Bifikudeka, in thy precepts. Asicha, I will meditate. We abita, and have respect and scrutinize and scan. Orachoteka, thy well-trodden ways. Meditate. The precepts will be the subject that occupy his and I thoughts. Bifikudeka asicha. Here, the eighth zane, 16th verse right here to complete the bait, second section right here. I will delight myself in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. So here we have focusing on these 8 key words right here. Bichukoteka, in thy chukot, in thy statutes. Bichukoteka, esha ta isha'a, lo eshkach devareka. I will delight myself. I will delight. Eshata isha'a. I will delight bechukoteka, in thy statutes. Lo, not eshkach. I will not forget. Eshkach, I will forget. Lo, not eshkach. I will not forget. Lo eshkach devareka, the I word. Delight myself. Others look for their pleasures in things material, but he and I in the meditation upon Yahweh Eloheinu will, and in the Brit Chadash, our meditation upon the Bein Elohim Chayim Hadabar, Lo Eshkach Debareka, I will not forget the I word, and the word became flesh and manifest. Yes, Yah bless.
Ready. Hold on, little talk. Brato, take this one. Sorry. God is watching you.
Psalm 119. Aleph. Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies, and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity, they walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. I will praise thee with uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. Bet. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. With my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments. Thy word have I hid in mine heart that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Lord. Teach me thy statutes. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies as much as in all riches. I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. I will delight myself in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. Gimel. Deal bountifully with thy servant, that I may live and keep thy word. Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. I am a stranger in the earth. Hide not thy commandments from me. My soul breaketh for the longing that it hath unto thy judgments at all times. Thou hast rebuked the proud that are cursed, which do err from thy commandments. Remove from me reproach and contempt, for I have kept thy testimonies. Princes also did sit and speak against me, but thy servant did meditate in thy statutes. Thy testimonies also are my delight and my counselors. Dalet. My soul cleaveth unto the dust. Quicken thou me according to thy word. I have declared my ways, and thou heardest me. Teach me thy statutes. Make me to understand the way of thy precepts. So shall I talk of thy wondrous works. My soul melteth for heaviness. Strengthen thou me according unto thy word. Remove from me the way of lying, and grant me thy law graciously. I have chosen the way of truth. Thy judgments have I laid before me. I have stuck unto thy testimonies. O Lord, put me not to shame. I will run the way of thy commandments, when thou shalt enlarge my heart. Hey. Teach me, O Lord, the way of thy statutes, and I shall keep it unto the end. Give me understanding, and I shall keep thy law. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Make me to go in the path of thy commandments, for therein do I delight. Incline my heart unto thy testimonies, and not to covetousness. Turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity, and quicken thou me in thy way. Establish thy word unto thy servant, who is devoted to thy fear. Turn away my reproach which I fear, for thy judgments are good. Behold, I have longed after thy precepts. Quicken me in thy righteousness. Vav. Let thy mercies come also unto me, O Lord, even thy salvation according to thy word. So shall I have wherewith to answer him that reproacheth me, for I trust in thy word. And take not the word of truth utterly out of my mouth, for I have hoped in thy judgments. So shall I keep thy law continually forever and ever, and I will walk at liberty. I will speak of thy testimonies also before kings, and will not be ashamed. And I will delight myself in thy commandments which I have loved. My hands also will I lift up unto thy commandments which I have loved, and I will meditate in thy statutes. Zion. Remember the word unto thy servant, upon which thou hast caused me to hope. This is my comfort in my affliction, for thy word hath quickened me. The proud have had me greatly in derision, yet have I not declined from thy law. I remembered thy judgments of old, O Lord, and have comforted myself. Horror hath taken hold upon me because of the wicked that forsake thy law. Thy statutes have been my songs in the house of my pilgrimage. I have remembered thy name, O Lord, in the night, and have kept thy law. This I had because I kept thy precepts. Yes, thou art my portion, O Lord. I have said that I would keep thy words. I entreated thy favor with my whole heart. Be merciful unto me according to thy word. I thought on my ways, and turned my feet unto thy testimonies. I made haste, and delayed not to keep thy commandments. The bands of the wicked have robbed me, but I have not forgotten thy law. At midnight I will rise to give thanks unto thee, because of thy righteous judgments. I am a companion of all them that fear thee, and of them that keep thy precepts. The earth, O Lord, is full of thy mercy. Teach me thy statutes. Tet. Thou hast dealt well with thy servant, O Lord, according unto thy word. Teach me good judgment and knowledge, for I have believed thy commandments. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now have I kept thy word. Thou art good, and doest good. Teach me thy statutes. The proud have forged a lie against me, but I will keep thy precepts with my whole heart. Their heart is as fat as grease, but I delight in thy law. It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes. The law of thy mouth is better unto me than thousands of gold and silver. Yod. Thy hands have made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding, that I may learn thy commandments. They that fear thee will be glad when they see me, because I have hoped in thy word. I know, O Lord, that thy judgments are right, and that thou in faithfulness hast afflicted me. Let, I pray thee, thy merciful kindness be for my comfort, according to thy word unto thy servant. Let thy tender mercies come unto me, that I may live. For thy law is my delight. Let the proud be ashamed, for they dealt perversely with me without a cause. But I will meditate in thy precepts. Let those that fear thee turn unto me, and those that have known thy testimonies. Let my heart be sound in thy statutes, that I be not ashamed, not ashamed, not ashamed, not ashamed.
Yes. Verses 1 to 80 are here on the outro. Verses 81, 81 to 176 right here.
Cup. My soul fainteth for thy salvation, but I hope in thy word. Mine eyes fail for thy word, saying, when wilt thou comfort me? For I am become like a bottle in the smoke. Yet do I not forget thy statutes. How many are the days of thy servant? When wilt thou execute judgment on them that persecute me? The proud have digged pits for me, which are not after thy law. All thy commandments are faithful. They persecute me wrongfully. Help thou me. They had almost consumed me upon earth, but I forsook not thy precepts. Quicken me after thy loving kindness, so shall I keep the testimony of thy mouth. Lamed. Forever, O Lord, thy word is settled in heaven. Thy faithfulness is unto all generations. Thou hast established the earth, and it abideth. They continue this day according to thine ordinances, for all are thy servants. Unless thy law had been my delight, I should then have perished in mine affliction. I will never forget thy precepts, for with them thou hast quickened me. I am thine. Save me, for I have sought thy precepts. The wicked have waited for me to destroy me, but I will consider thy testimonies. I have seen an end of all perfection, but thy commandment is exceeding broad. Mem. Oh, how love I thy law! It is my meditation all the day. Thou, through thy commandments, hast made me wiser than mine enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. I have refrained my feet from every evil way, that I might keep thy word. I have not departed from thy judgments, for thou hast taught me. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Nun. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. I have sworn, and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgments. I am afflicted very much, according unto thy word. Accept, I beseech thee, the free will offerings of my mouth, O Lord, and teach me thy judgments. My soul is continually in my hand, yet do I not forget thy law. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts. Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. I have inclined mine heart to perform thy statutes alway, even unto the end. Samuel. I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I hope in thy word. Depart from me, ye evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of my God. Uphold me according unto thy word, that I may live, and let me not be ashamed of my hope. Hold thou me up, and I shall be safe, and I will have respect unto thy statutes continually. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from thy statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimonies. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. I have done judgment and justice. Leave me not to mine oppressors. Be surety for thy servant for good. Let not the proud oppress me. Mine eyes fail for thy salvation and for the word of thy righteousness. Deal with thy servant according unto thy mercy, and teach me thy statutes. I am thy servant. Give me understanding, that I may know thy testimonies. It is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. Therefore I love thy commandments above gold, yea, above fine gold. Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way. Hey, thy testimonies are wonderful. Therefore doth my soul keep them. The entrance of thy words giveth light, it giveth understanding unto the simple. I opened my mouth and panted, for I longed for thy commandments. Look thou upon me, and be merciful unto me, as thou usest to do unto those that love thy name. Order my steps in thy word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me. Deliver me from the oppression of man, so will I keep thy precepts. Make thy face to shine upon thy servant, and teach me thy statutes. Rivers of waters run down mine eyes, because they keep not thy law. Tzaddik. Righteous art thou, O Lord, and upright are thy judgments. Thy testimonies that thou hast commanded are righteous and very faithful. My zeal hath consumed me, because mine enemies have forgotten thy word. Thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it. I am small and despise it, yet do not I forget thy precepts. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Trouble and anguish have taken hold on me, yet thy commandments are my delights. The righteousness of thy testimonies is everlasting. Give me understanding, and I shall live. Kuf. I cried with my whole heart. Hear me, O Lord, I will keep thy statutes. I cried unto thee, save me, and I shall keep thy testimonies. I that prevented the dawning of the morning, and cried, I hoped in thy word. Mine eyes prevent the night watches, that I might meditate in thy word. Hear my voice according unto thy loving kindness. O Lord, quicken me according to thy judgment. They draw nigh that follow after mischief. They are far from thy law. Thou art near, O Lord, and all thy commandments are truth. Concerning thy testimonies, I have known of old that thou hast founded them forever. Resh. Consider mine affliction and deliver me, for I do not forget thy law. Plead my cause and deliver me. Quicken me according to thy word. Salvation is far from the wicked, for they seek not thy statutes. Great are thy tender mercies, O Lord. Quicken me according to thy judgments. Many are my persecutors and mine enemies, yet do I not decline from thy testimonies. I beheld the transgressors and was grieved, because they kept not thy words. Consider how I love thy precepts. Quicken me, O Lord, according to thy loving kindness. Thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgments endureth forever. Shin. Princes have persecuted me without a cause, but my heart standeth in awe of thy word. I rejoice at thy word as one that findeth great spoil. I hate and abhor lying, but thy law do I love. 7 times a day do I praise thee because of thy righteous judgment. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Lord, I have hoped for thy salvation and done thy commandments. My soul hath kept thy testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. I have kept thy precepts and thy testimonies, for all my ways are before thee. Tav. Let my cry come near before thee, O Lord. Give me understanding according to thy word. Let my supplication come before thee. Deliver me according to thy word. My lips shall utter praise when thou hast taught me thy statutes. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. Let thine hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts. I have longed for thy salvation, O Lord, and thy law is my delight. Let my soul live, and it shall praise thee, and let thy judgments help me. I have gone astray, like a lost sheep. Seek thy servant, for I do not forget thy commandments.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.